that took place, and has also said that an inquiry would be made in this regard. However, when you speak of the railway officials, they've gone ahead to confirm that there has been one death in this incident. In fact, in the tweet put out by the Chief Minister, he said that there have been 8 passengers who fell from the train on board the tracks at a railway station. 8 of them, in fact, fell is what the Chief Minister has said. He's gone ahead and taken to Twitter to speak about it. Also, the Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, whose son Shrikant Shinde is a local MP from this area, when it comes to Shrikant Shinde, he's rushed to Kalwa Hospital, where those who've injured who have been in fact taken. What's in fact also important to note is that after this, the Railways has said that for the new rakes that come in, there'll be a closed automatic door system that will be put into place to avoid such incident. As far as details are concerned, sources have said it was because of overcrowding in local trains where people fell on the track.
So I'll tell you, this is because of not amending the law which was given by High Court. High Court has already given a law. There's an order already been given to Central Railway to start a closed door like a metro. So automated doors are important. That is the first thing which I can say should have been implemented. Second is, these platforms where they are running the fast locals, they are not meant for the exact fast locals which can pass from Dombivli to Thane. From Dombivli to Thane, there is a tunnel already been given. But by giving a name under Atmanirbhar Bharat, the fund is being allocated, the beautification has been done, the home platform has been changed, but there is no ease of commutation. If you see today, what people are suffering is they are not able to get into the normal locals, which is at the platform number 2 in the morning peak hours. And this story is equally at Diva, Mumra and Kalwa. I am not representing only Mumra, but I am telling you this is a bottleneck. And this problem is happening across from last 2 years. And today what has happened is an eye-opener. The reason is people are losing their life. Every month there are 4 to 5 fatal accidents. And every day there are normal accidents which is happening. But now I'll tell you, when people are losing their life, this is an issue. And this is an issue of the management of a Central Railway. We need to understand Central Railway should come up with a prioritized safety infrastructure. Safety should be the first priority of the Central Railway.
अभी जो हुआ है इसमें टोटल जो है 13 लोग जो है वो इंजर्ड हुए हैं, ये इन्फॉर्मेशन अपने पास आई है. इनमें से अभी डेथ की कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन, कोई जानकारी हमारे पास नहीं आई है.
सर कैसे गिरे ये, कैसा?
अब इसकी जो ये है, जब तहकीकात की जा रही है, तहकीकात के बाद में ही अपने को ये पता चलेगा. और जो यात्री हैं उनसे भी ये पूछताछ की जा रही है कि क्या हुआ था. अगर जैसे ही घटना की डिटेल्स अपने को मिलेंगे फिर अपन बाकी की डिटेल्स दे पाएंगे. अभी जो एसी ट्रेन सारी आ रही हैं वो डोर क्लोजर के साथ ही आ रही हैं, और उसी के साथ साथ में जो एग्जिस्टिंग ट्रेन हैं उसमें भी रेट्रोफिटमेंट करने का प्रयास हमारे द्वारा किया जाएगा.
Yasha Kotak, my colleague, joins us with more details. Yasha, overcrowding has been a persistent problem in Mumbai suburban railway lines, and we've seen people more often than not dangerously perched at train doors, and that's exactly what led to the loss of 4 lives. Now, we do see reactions come in from the top. The Chief Ministers condole the loss of lives, but give us a sense of what really was the first problem that needs to be addressed that led to this unfortunate tragedy.
So when you speak of overcrowding, it is a perennial problem, when it comes to Mumbai local trains. This being a Monday morning, the train was overcrowded, and when it comes to suburbs which are beyond Thane, because with the growth of the Mumbai metropolitan region and various travel mode increasing towards the suburban areas of the Mumbai metropolitan region, is where a huge number of population has started staying beyond Thane, towards Dombivli, towards Kalyan, and even beyond towards Kasara. Now, when it comes to this very spot, Mumra, Kalwa and Diva, which are increasingly becoming thickly populated, the fast lane there's no stop of fast lane at some of these platforms. In fact, when we spoke to some of the railway commuters there, they said there's been a long pending demand to have a fast lane stop at these very stations. When it comes to the death that took place, they took place on the fast line, that's the line 3 and 4 of the Central Railway, where a fast lane was headed towards CST with these commuters. On the other hand, there was a fast lane headed back towards northbound, that is from CST onwards towards Kasara side. In fact, as far as railway officials are concerned, they had gone ahead on record to state that because of the impact of both of these trains, there was a curve which, according to railway police officials, the curve is a black spot in itself, wherein between Kalwa and Mumra, there are a couple of deaths that take place every now and then, but they are not mass deaths when it comes to this very instance. Here, as we saw, the Chief Minister himself came out on social media, confirmed that there were 8 people who fell off from the train. According to railway officials, there were total 13 people who fell off, 8 from one train, 5 from the other, and which is where some of them who were injured rushed to the nearest public hospital. However, so far 4 people have lost their lives, 4 are said to be in a critical condition, and the state government has also announced 5 lakh for kin of deceased, and when it comes to injured, their treatment is being taken care of by the state government. But also we saw the local MLA, the MPs visiting the relatives and those injured at various hospitals.
But commuter safety on Mumbai suburban railway lines,
Yasha,
Yasha, is not a new problem, and I think there is a recognition now within the authorities, the establishment, of how more needs to be done. Apart from ordering an inquiry, has the government come out with any other concrete actions it will take in days to come?
As of now, there's no such announcement that's been made by the government. They've only said that there will be an inquiry that will be put into place. That is the announcement made by the state government. Apart from that, of course, we saw the railway board. Now we heard the commuters stating how there was a Bombay High Court order that was pending for quite some time. The railway board has also gone ahead to say that all the new rakes that will come in to Mumbai, that will be closed rakes that is similar to the AC local automatic door system would be put into place for all of these rakes. But when you speak of something similar that's taking place in metros, or for that matter AC locals, when it comes to metros in Mumbai, like we see in local trains, even they are jam-packed, and when it comes to closed door automatic system, that's another problem that commuters in the metro face.
Okay, once again,
Yes.
Renewed concerns over railway safety in Mumbai. Many thanks, Yasha, for joining us with all those details. Unfortunately, 4 lives have been lost in this tragedy. Shifting our focus now to how probe in politics continues to escalate over the Bengaluru stampede tragedy too. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has distanced himself from the tragic stampede that claimed 11 lives. Clarifying the state government's non-involvement, he stated that the event was not organized by his administration and that he was only an invitee to a separate felicitation at the Vidhan Sauda. Facing calls for accountability and resignation, Siddaramaiah has hit back, asking if any minister resigned during Mahakumbh stampede. Top sources have told CNN News 18 that Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge are both likely to meet the Chief Minister and his deputy in Karnataka. We play out this exclusive reaction that's come in of the police commissioner on what the situation and the investigations right now are pointing to. Listen in.
Well, I'm joined by Bengaluru's new police commissioner, Mr. Siman Kumar Singh, who has taken over charge at a time when Bengaluru saw one of its horrific incidents, the Chinnaswamy stampede case. Sir, you have taken over in a tough time, and it's a tough job that you have right now, because a lot of people feel at that time, especially in the rank and file of the police department, because the entire chain of command being removed or suspended, there's low morale in the forces. And you being the commander of forces of the city as well, and with more than 1.6 crores, 2 crore people of Bengaluru city, what is the assurance that you're going to give to your to the police officers as well as people of Bengaluru?
First of all, I assure the people of Bengaluru that we are geared up for any emergencies, and we are there in full force in all types of capacities, whether at lower level, higher level, different type of forces we have. So there's nothing to worry on that. Yes, as far as what the incident has happened, we are looking into it, how it happened, and there are multiple agencies inquiring into it. So I won't comment on that, but we are pulling up our socks, and there is no question of letting down the city in future. The city is safe, people are safe with Bengaluru city police, and first most important thing is that we have done policing earlier also, and it is just unfortunate that this time there was a problem, and we lost 11 innocent lives. But we are geared up, and the morale of the force, we are doing all our best to keep them motivated and serve the people in the best possible manner.
But in your experience, were there lapses, be it security, intelligence, administrative, were there lapses?
I can't comment on that because it's a matter of inquiry right now, and it's not being inquired by the city police. But it's our duty to look into and what went wrong. But I won't comment on that.
Lessons have been learned from them?
It's too early to say. Lessons are naturally every day is a learning lesson in police, whether it is good or bad. We keep learning, but this was a totally very, very, very serious incident. So it has to be taken in the. We have to pull up our socks. I told you,
Yes.
and all our officers have been alerted, have been sensitized. Meetings are being held at all levels. At my level, I personally have held meetings with all the officers, and I've instructed them to go about it in a very serious manner. So we will see that in future, nothing of this is repeated.
But sir, one thing about this entire incident also was crowd control management. Are there any SOPs or standard operating procedures that will be added? The High Court also has asked for SOPs that are put in place, especially for a city like Bengaluru. There are going to be matches going to be held. There are going to be protests in Bengaluru city. You said it may not happen again, but are there any additional SOPs?
See, SOPs are already in place, and we keep changing our tactics and strategies depending on situation. So every day is a learning exercise, and we will certainly add to it. And as technology is changing, as you see, the social media has got a large influence on such things. So we are also already, Bangalore City Police, for your information, you know it very well that we are far ahead in terms of technology. And we are using technology, Facebook, Twitter, social media, all platforms, we are there. And we will now see that how to further improve on it.
That leads me to my next question, because one of the reasons why we saw a larger gathering of people was also the use of social media. The tweeting that took place from the handles of the RCB franchise, and even for that matter from various other handles as well. The police also putting out their advisories in their own way. On one hand, you have RCB, which has a Twitter handle or a reach of more than 70 lakh people. On the other hand, you have the Bangalore police, which is 6 lakh people. The reach of a team, of a local team, is much higher on social media than of a Bangalore City Police handle. So how are you going to match this and reach out to people? Because obviously your advisory didn't reach out to the level that do not come there, or there is not going to be a procession, multiple lapses that took place. How are you going to be tightening your social media as well?
No, I told you, we are already far ahead in social media, and we have a social media monitoring cell, which monitors fake posts and many other things which we monitor. And as far as our side of the story we have to put, we are very fast in it. You see, we immediately put our posts. In this situation, there are multiple things which are being inquired into it. So I really won't comment on those things. But only social media monitoring will not help in crowd control. This is one of the aspects. We have many other things in place, and we'll try to improve on all that.
But
And in breaking news coming in, we're learning that the Karnataka High Court also heard the plea of RCB marketing head Nikhil Sosale against his arrest. His lawyer claims the arrest was made at the behest of Chief Minister, not as per the investigation. So hearing has now been adjourned, and the hearing has been adjourned till 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. But these are arguments which have been submitted by the legal counsel of RCB's marketing head. Going across to Sudat Bhardwaj, who joins us with more details. Sudat, it's something that RCB's marketing head has maintained in the past as well. In fact, while moving this petition in the Karnataka High Court, he spoke of how his arrest was a knee-jerk reaction and purposely done by the Chief Minister. Tell us what transpired in the court a little while earlier.
Well, yes, his wife Malavika Nayak, in fact, filed a petition before the court, the Karnataka High Court, seeking for, challenging the arrest, basically. And the court has heard the objections by lawyer, Advocate Sandesh Chota, who is representing her. And he has made critical arguments stating that, in fact, the CCB police that actually, arrested him do not have the jurisdiction, do not have the authority to do so. He has also said that the investigating officer, who was eventually suspended, a Kaban Park investigating officer, was eventually suspended, meant that CM Siddaramaiah instructing for the arrest was the grounds based on which Nikhil Sokre was arrested, and that does not amount to anything, and it is illegal to do so. It is arbitrary. This is the argument that is coming in from Sandesh Chota too. He has argued today as well, saying that in arresting based on the instructions of CM Siddaramaiah at a press conference was not right. There must be an investigating officer. And he has also gone on to question how the CCB police could in fact arrest when the case was with the Kaban Park police, and how the case was also transferred to the CID later. And in that case, only the CID has the role to actually, proceed with the case. And in such a case, the CCB police did not have the jurisdiction to arrest. This is the argument that he has in fact placed before the court. Of course, the Advocate General for the Karnataka government has in fact argued that that is not the case, and in fact arguing some of the observations made by Sandesh Chota, where he said that in fact the personal liberty of Nikhil Sokre was violated. He has said that that was not the case, and in fact Sandesh Chota was only arrested because he was trying to flee Karnataka. He was arrested at the Karnataka, Bengaluru airport, and that was the only reason why he was arrested. And one cannot be tied down to not arrest when one of the accused is trying to flee. This is the argument that is coming in. Of course, hearing has been adjourned till tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. We have to see what more comes out of this. But this is definitely, serious hearing. Yes. We have to see what more developments really play out of this, even as RCB and several others try to challenge the arrest.
Okay, so this is just one of the many fingers pointing at the Chief Minister. As far as the Chief Minister is concerned, so that he has constantly distanced himself from the entire matter. Stay on with us, Sudat. Let's talk about the Chief Minister's latest version. He's come out to once again highlight how it was the Karnataka State Cricket Association that invited him for the felicitation ceremony, and he clearly had no role to play in the manner in which celebrations were held in Bengaluru. Listen in.
ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ನವರು ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಟ್ರೆಜರರು ಬಂದು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ನು ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗವರ್ನರು ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ಕಾರದ್ದೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಈಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಘಟನೆ ಸಂಭವಿಸಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಭವಿಸಿರೋದು? ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಹತ್ರ. ನನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂಗೂ ನನಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಒಂದು ಸೇತುವೆ ಬಿದ್ದೋಯ್ತು, ಅವತ್ತೇ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ದಿನನೇ ಇನಾಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. 100 ಜನ ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರು. ಆಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ? ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ರ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರು? ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ? ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ 50-60 ಜನ ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರು. ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ ನೀವು? ಅವ್ರು ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ರ? BJP ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ? ಓಲಿ.
Going across to Sudat Bhardwaj once again. Sudat, how is the Congress in Karnataka dealing with this? We're learning that Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge are going to personally interact with the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister, because there are several questions being asked not just by political rivals of the Congress in the state, but by senior IPS officers as well, especially with regards to the suspension of the previous police commissioner.
Yes, lot of questions coming in from everyone literally. It's not just the opposition in this regard. As you rightly pointed out, questions are coming in from the IPS officers, the police officers were suspended. And of course, there is a general outrage amongst the public as well as to why the government is not owning up to the mishap that has happened. CM Siddaramaiah has not only said that he has no connection with the incident that has taken place at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, the mishap that has taken place, but he has also said that the felicitation as a Vidhana Soudha is also something that he was not, part of, something that he did not organize, but was merely an invitee. So this is clearly the government shrugging off any responsibility for the untoward incidents that has taken place outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And in fact, CM Siddaramaiah has also said that nothing untoward has happened inside the Vidhana Soudha. But the fact of the matter is there is still a breach. Many people managed to successfully barge in, and they were just literally meters away from the players. So a lot of concern that was being raised. But clearly the government seems to be denying any role with regards to the celebration and the felicitation that took place at the two separate venues on June 4th. So this is definitely concerning, and has not only invited a lot of wrath from the opposition, but from the general public and IPS officers as well as to how the government has really handled the case. And tomorrow you are going to see CM Siddaramaiah meet High Command. Likely you are going to expect him to meet Rahul Gandhi and others. And what we hear is that the High Command is a bit displeased with how the Karnataka government has in fact, handled the entire situation and the aftermath as well. There is a bit of criticism as to how DK Shivkumar too was perhaps trying to, up his image during the entire process, see it as some sort of personal branding, an attempt to brand himself in a better way. So a lot of concerns that are being raised. The High Command seems to be a bit upset in this regard.
Yeah.
So the serious discussions could, of course, take place tomorrow.
And it doesn't quite add up, especially given the police's version that they in fact did inform the administration of how celebrations at this short notice could indeed be risky. And that's one point which is now being highlighted by the BJP. Many thanks, Siddharth, for joining us with those details. Here's what the BJP has said at the latest.
They have no moral authority to continue because they have suspended police commissioner and other senior officials. My question is, DCP has written a letter saying that it is risky to have function just within 24 hours because after winning the match, entire that day in the Bengaluru, people were on the street. Most unfortunately, they were in the drunken stage also. At the 8:30, he received a message from some of his junior level officers saying that Pandal is being erected and I think they are planning for the huge celebration. Then he immediately requested the Chief Minister not to hold this function. It is very, very difficult to deploy the manpower and also arrange it.
All right, with that, it's time for us to head into a quick breather. We'll be right back with lots more. You're watching Nation at 5.
This is the track. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Another update that concerns a couple that had gone missing in Shillong. We're talking about the Indore couple. Now, there has been a development in this case as well. Sonam Raghuvanshi is the wife who had vanished from Shillong during her honeymoon, has now been found in Uttar Pradesh. Late last night, Sonam reportedly called her brother from a roadside eatery in Ghazipur in UP, breaking her silence and revealing her location. Raja Raghuwanshi, who's the husband, he was found dead, remember. His elder brother, Vipin, has confirmed to CNN News 18 all these developments. Reacting to the news, the Meghalaya Chief Minister has also taken to social media announcing that the 3 accused, all from Madhya Pradesh, have been arrested so far. He's also confirmed that the woman involved has surrendered. By the woman, does he mean Sonam, is one conjecture that is also being drawn, and the operation, he says, to nab the 4th accused is still underway. But even as the police call it a breakthrough, Sonam's father has rejected their version. He has said, and I'm quoting, what the police is saying is not true. We demand a CBI probe into the matter. Meanwhile, the man at the dhaba in Ghazipur in UP who helped Sonam recalled that she was crying and asked to make a phone call. We gave her the phone, he says, and then alerted the police.
धन्यवाद है जो मिल गई है, तो लेकिन क्या, ये तो वो भी दुख है और ये भी दुख है। अभी तो राजा के कातिल का भी पता पड़े। अब दुख तो है, मिल भी गई है, तो भी हमको तो दुख ही, छोरा चला गया।
मैं ढाबे वाले के पास पहुंची, वहाँ उससे रोई। ढाबे वाले से रोने के बाद में उसने मोबाइल दिया ढाबे वाले ने। अच्छा। हाँ, ढाबे वाले ने मोबाइल दिया तो फिर उसने गोविंद जी को फ़ोन लगाया। अच्छा। हाँ, तो गोविंद जी ने फिर रात को फ़ोन लगाया तो वहाँ पुलिस पहुंची, थाने की वहाँ ढाबे पे। ढाबे से वहाँ की पुलिस लेके आई है। अच्छा। मेरी बिट्टी से अभी मेरी बात नहीं हुई, सोनम से। वो गलत दावा कर रहे हैं। अच्छा। वो लोग बिल्कुल 100% गलत दावा कर रहे हैं। वो लोग निराधार झूठ बोल रही है, क्योंकि वहाँ की पुलिस फंस रही है उस मामले में, इसलिए वो लोग ये दावा, उल्टा दावा कर रहे हैं। भाई हम क्यों करवाएंगे ये चीज? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, ये बच्ची भी क्यों करवाएगी? बच्ची अगर ऐसा करवाती तो घूमने क्यों जाती? अच्छा, आपने फोन भी लगाया? तो इसके बाद में फिर हम लोग दिल्ली जाते हैं कि अमित शाह जी से मिलने के लिए कि भाई हमको सीबीआई की जांच दो आप।
जी, ये अभी जो पता चला है कि सोनम रघुवंशी आत्मसमर्पण किया है, तो इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा अगर जानकारी दे पाते हैं, आपके पास जो भी खबर है।
आत्मसमर्पण सोनम ने नहीं किया है। सोनम के लिए हम लोगों ने फोन लगाया यूपी पुलिस को। यूपी पुलिस वहाँ पे पहुंची, उसको वहाँ पे सेफ रखा है, उसको लेके गई है। सोनम पकड़ी नहीं गई है। सोनम को हमने फोन लगा के बोला है, तो सोनम को पुलिस लेके गई वहाँ पे। कोई पुलिस ने ढूंढा नहीं है, कोई आत्मसमर्पण नहीं किया उसने है, ये चीज क्लियर है।
तो लेकिन बात है
खबरें ना चले तो अच्छी है।
जी बात है, लेकिन बात है कि सोनम मतलब चेरापूंजी से आके मध्य प्रदेश कैसे पहुंची उसके बाद, आपको क्या लगता है?
वो सोनम बता पाएगी इस बारे में बातें। इस बारे में वो कुछ पता नहीं है।
राजा के मौत के पीछे सोनम का हाथ हो सकता है क्या?
अभी तो कंफर्म नहीं है इस बात में। सोनम बता पाएगी बातें,
क्योंकि आप वहाँ शिलांग में थे, आप मतलब ढूंढ रहे थे, पूरे मामले को नजदीक से देख रहे थे, बोल रहे थे कि जब से नहीं होगा तब तक मैं यहाँ से जाऊंगा नहीं। उसके बाद राजा का सब मिला।
चीजें सुनो, ये कोई भी चीजें कंफर्म हम तक नहीं कर सकते हैं जब तक सोनम को जो है 4 आरोपी के सामने खड़ा नहीं करा जाता है। तब तक सोनम कंफर्म करेगी उनको, तो सोनम को वो कंफर्म करेंगे कौन था कौन नहीं था, सारी चीजें मैच होगी। उसके बाद में पड़ेगा आरोपी कौन है।
क्योंकि 3 सुपारी किलर भी पकड़ा गया है।
मैं वही कह रहा हूँ, उससे में सारी चीजें कंफर्म होगी। कंफर्म हुई नहीं है। सोनम के मिलने के बाद सोनम की सारी कंफर्म करेगी चीजें, सारी चीजें। तो सोनम को जो है यहाँ पे लाया जाएगा, कंफर्म सारी चीज करी जाएगी, इसकी बात की आगे बात बढ़ेगी।
लेकिन
कौन है
ये पूरा मामला जो है आपके लिए एकदम चौंकाने वाला है कि सोनम अब मध्य प्रदेश में पाई गई है चेरापूंजी से।
देखिए, ये चीज अचंभा थोड़ी तो है, बाकी इसमें भी हम लोग कुछ बोल नहीं सकते ज्यादा।
अब मतलब आप सोनम के मुंह से सुनना चाहते हैं जो आगे का बात है, या पुलिस के मुंह से
चाहते हैं आगे की बात क्या थी, क्या बात थी, सच्चाई क्या नहीं है। ये मीडिया के माध्यम से तो बहुत सी चीजें ऐसी लिखी जाती है तो नहीं होना चाहिए।
नहीं जी, इसीलिए आपको फोन किया है कि जो होना चाहिए वो ही हो और आप ही बता पाओ कि आप प्रत्यक्ष रूप से पूरे मामले से जुड़े हुए हैं या पहले दिन से आप लगे हुए हैं। इसीलिए मतलब क्योंकि आपके घर की बहू है।
तो वही कह रहा हूँ, हमारे घर की बहू है, हम लोग इसी के लिए कह रहे हैं। जब तक हमको कंफर्म नहीं होगा, जब तक हम लोग किसी भी बात में भरोसा नहीं कर पाएंगे।
लेकिन कभी भी शक हुआ था कि ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है?
ऐसा कुछ शक नहीं हुआ, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ ऐसा है।
क्योंकि आप लोग ये मान के चल रहे थे कि बांग्लादेश तक उसको अपहरण करके लेके गया होगा। अब बांग्लादेश की जगह मध्य प्रदेश में निकली वो 3 और भी लोग पकड़े गए हैं, जो कहा जा रहा है कि इस पूरे मामले के
पकड़े गए जो है वो MP में पकड़ा गया, इन दोनों पकड़ा गए है। और सोनम जो है सोनम यूपी मिली है। दोनों में बहुत अंतर है, 1200 किलोमीटर अंतर, 11-1200 किलोमीटर अंतर दोनों में है। वो दोनों अलग अलग जगह पकड़े गए हैं। सोनम पकड़ी नहीं गई है, 3 बंदे पकड़े गए हैं।
सोनम किनके साथ बात, सोनम का बात किनके साथ हुआ था?
गोभी के साथ हुआ था।
अच्छा, ओके। और उसके बाद आप ही लोगों ने कहा है कि मतलब आप लोग पुलिस को बताया या आप लोगों ने सोनम को बताया?
हम लोगों ने पुलिस को बताया है। सोनम रघुवंशी वहाँ पे है, आप वहाँ पे जाइए, उसको वहाँ पे उठाइए, उसकी सेफ तरीके से थाने पे ले जाइए, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जंगल में कुछ और मिलेगा नहीं वहाँ पे, इसलिए हमने पुलिस को फोन लगा बताया।
मतलब एक तरीके से आपने पकड़वाया है?
पकड़ाया नहीं, हमने उसको सेफ रखने के लिए भेजा वहाँ पे, वहाँ सेफ रहेगी, कोई पुलिस पकड़ के नहीं ले गई उसको।
तो आपको लगता है मतलब सोनम भी खतरे में है?
सोनम डरी हुई थी तो हम लोगों को पता है, डरी हुई वहाँ पे, तो सोनम को जंगल में कौन देखेगा? तो हमारा पास ऑप्शन एक ही था, पुलिस के थ्रू वहाँ पे हमने सोनम को सेफ जगह रखा गया है थाने पे। गोविंद रघुवंशी उसको लेने के लिए निकल गया है।
My colleague Niloy Bhattacharya is now with us on the broadcast. Niloy was just speaking to one of the family members of the husband, Raja Raghuwanshi. Now, Niloy, from this conversation that you've had with Raja's brother, things are still unclear. They are not really casting aspersions exactly against Sonam, and yet they are saying that let's talk about the people who have been nabbed from MP. The fact that there is an MP connection here, that is what possibly is implicating Sonam, and that is why the Meghalaya police is moving in this direction. Is that right? Okay, we are getting to hear Raja Raghuvanshi's mother now. Let's listen in.
हमने बोला था चेन पहन के आना, तो उसने यहाँ से तो रख के ले गया है, और वहाँ जाके उसने एयरपोर्ट पे जाके पहन ली कि रास्ता में पहनी, ये भी नहीं पता, और यहाँ से पहनी थी तो कॉलर बंद करके गया था, क्या गया था। वो एयरपोर्ट की फोटो दिखी ना, वो भी कोई संकेत ही होगा।
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5. After over 15 days of search and several unanswered questions, the murder case of the Indore couple saw a huge turn of events. In a breakthrough, Sonam Raghuvanshi, missing since the 23rd of May, was found in Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh late last evening after she called her brother from a roadside eatery. Now, in protective custody, Sonam claims she was abducted and later abandoned. Her alleged boyfriend, Raj Kushwaha, is also in custody and will be brought to Shillong. Shillong is where all the 5 accused who've been arrested will be questioned by the police. Top Shillong police sources also say that Sonam was indeed involved in Raja's murder. She and Raj Kushwaha planned the entire murder. They hired contract killers for the same. Sources further suggest that after the murder, Sonam and the 3 killers went to Guwahati and separated thereafter. This also comes days after Raja Raghuvanshi's body, remember, was recovered from a Meghalaya gorge, killed with a machete. Sources reveal the weapon wasn't local, it didn't belong to Meghalaya, which further raised suspicion of a pre-planned murder. Police have also arrested 5 people in total. Like I said, 1 accused is still on the run. Sonam's father has rejected the police's version and in fact has demanded a CBI probe into the entire matter. Posters of Sonam were also seen being burnt outside Raja's residence earlier today in Indore. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, in an exclusive to CNN News 18, praised the police efforts, said they worked under tough terrain and immense pressure to crack the case. Multi-state investigation continues, but like I said, this is a war of versions of the 2 families as well. Here's what they've had to say. Listen in.
मेघालय सरकार झूठ क्यों बोलेगी? मेघालय सरकार झूठ क्यों बोलेगी? उनको क्या मिलेगा झूठ बोल के? पहली बात तो ये समझ नहीं आ रहा। मेघालय हो चाहे अपने यहाँ की सरकार हो, कोई सी भी सरकार हो, झूठ क्यों बोलेगी? सरकार क्यों झूठ बोलेगी? सरकार तो अपनी सहायता के लिए खड़ी ना। उनको फांसी चाहिए,
फांसी की सजा होनी चाहिए।
फांसी सजा होना चाहिए। सवाल ये भी है ना, सोनम क्यों भाग रही थी? सोनम को आना चाहिए। सोनम के हाथ पहले फोन नहीं लगा क्या किसी का? और अब होके फोन करवाया गया, मतलब किसी लेडीज ने उसको फोन दे के बात करवाई गई, तो ये ऐसा क्यों हुआ है कि मैं इस ढाबे पे हूँ और भैया से बात करी उसने।
धन्यवाद है जो मिल गई है, तो लेकिन क्या, ये तो वो भी दुख है और ये भी दुख है। अभी तो राजा के कातिल का भी पता पड़े। अब दुख तो है, मिल भी गई है तो भी हमको तो दुख ही है, छोरा चला गया।
मैं ढाबे वाले के पास पहुंची, वहाँ उससे रोई। ढाबे वाले से रोने के बाद में उसने मोबाइल दिया ढाबे वाले ने। अच्छा। हाँ, ढाबे वाले ने मोबाइल दिया तो फिर उसने गोविंद जी को फ़ोन लगाया। अच्छा। हाँ, तो गोविंद जी ने फिर रात को फ़ोन लगाया तो वहाँ पुलिस पहुंची थाने की, वहाँ ढाबे पे, ढाबे से वहाँ की पुलिस लेके आई है। अच्छा। मेरी बिट्टी से अभी मेरी बात नहीं हुई, सोनम से। वो गलत दावा कर रहे हैं। अच्छा। वो लोग बिल्कुल 100% गलत दावा कर रहे हैं। वो लोग निराधार झूठ बोल रही है, क्योंकि वहाँ की पुलिस फंस रही है उस मामले में, इसलिए वो लोग ये दावा, उल्टा दावा कर रहे हैं। भाई हम क्यों करवाएंगे ये चीज? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, ये बच्ची भी क्यों करवाएगी? बच्ची अगर ऐसा करवाती तो घूमने क्यों जाती? अच्छा, आपने फोन नहीं लगाया? तो इसके बाद में फिर हम लोग दिल्ली जाते हैं कि अमित शाह जी से मिलने के लिए कि भाई हमको सीबीआई की जांच दो आप।
Truth has come out, already came out, and also it has been surfacing. So all these days, the family of Raja Rajwanshi, their friends, their brothers, and their whole family, they are blaming the police of Meghalaya, they are blaming the government of Meghalaya, and particularly, is a very shameful, blaming the people of Meghalaya. Police they have done the excellent job. Within 7 days, they have already nabbed the culprit. We should file the defamation case against these people who are maligning the image of the state of Meghalaya and maligning the image of the people of Meghalaya.
All right, I want to go across to 2 very special guests who are joining us on this shocking story. It is upended in many ways the sort of national consciousness, the sheer depravity of that story, and the lengths to which a newly married bride, a newly wedded wife would go to murder her husband. That's what has shocked most observers. I want to go across to Deepika Narayan Bharadwaj. She's a lawyer, someone who's been fighting for men's rights, equal rights for men when it comes to legal cases. And of course, Vikram Singh is former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Deepika, you know, if you look at the timeline of what the cops are saying, and clearly it's been contested by Sonam Raghuvanshi's family, that the conspiracy was hatched by the wife, the newly wedded wife Sonam, along with her boyfriend Raj Kushwaha. The police claim that Raj Kushwaha is the one who hired these three contract killers, Akash, Vishal and Anand, and they were the ones who killed Raja Raghuvanshi. How easy or difficult would it be to provide corroborative evidence to show that Sonam Raghuvanshi was the main architect, the main conspirator, the sutradhar of getting her husband killed, and to be able to make that stand in a court of law?
So Zaka, obviously evidence is very, very crucial over here. The biggest giveaway, I think, is, Sonam just suddenly appears out of nowhere as soon as Raj is arrested. So obviously she was in touch with him, and I'm sure Meghalaya police has done their thorough research in collecting the evidences. I've learned through media reports only that she was constantly talking to Raj. I'm sure they will dig out the history, prior history also before the marriage as well, that how long were they planning this thing. And there are a lot of things. I mean, she took a lot of cash from the house. There was no return ticket booked. So this absolutely looks like a very, very well-planned conspiracy. It's sad that her parents are unwilling to believe this, but I think it will be tough to prove, of course, because I don't know on what channels were they talking. Were they talking through WhatsApp? What channel of medium of communication were they using? So that becomes very, very important. But I'm sure if the police has, she has surrendered herself, and the police caught the other three people. I think one is still absconding. I'm sure they'll be able to establish with corroboration on how she was involved.
So some of the details that the police are saying that they have, one of course is the suspected murder weapon. It's a machete, which is not used or cannot be procured locally there in the Meghalaya area. So that was their first point of suspicion. Then they are also claiming that there were eyewitnesses who reported seeing this couple, that is Raj and Sonam, with the three other contract killers who were hired. Locals heard them speak to these three individuals in Hindi, which means that it was a giveaway that they were outsiders. Police are also saying that Sonam had call records where it showed that she was in touch with Raj, both in the lead up to the murder and beyond that as well. And of course, they're also corroborating Raj's call details with the three people who are hired for contract killing. Does all of this add up as material that would be able to establish Sonam's complicity in this murder?
I'm sure the police will do its job very thoroughly. I'm very hopeful. In fact, they have been on the case. The entire police force has been going to 3 different states, and they have been consistently on this matter, and the CM himself has come out and said that they have a very strong case. And Zaka, let's just, it's very simple. She's now claiming she was also kidnapped and they left her. She does not have any injuries on her body. So the kidnappers were so kind to her that, suddenly they would just leave her when 3 people get arrested in Indore, and now she is the innocent face. We have seen a lot of murder cases, Zaka, where women are able to portray themselves as innocent victims when they are not. There was recently a case in UP where a woman implicated the neighbors while she herself murdered the husband. There was another case, I think the snake bite case, if you remember. They actually planted a snake next to the dead body of the husband, and the wife and the lover had conspired. So, she, in my eyes, I think is a criminal, though I would wait for the trial to happen and she be proven guilty. But everything is giving away that Sonam has a very, very key role in this.
I want to ask Vikram Singh this. I mean, the last point that Deepika made is a very valid one. Increasingly, we are getting cases where the main conspirator or the person who hatched this conspiracy against, whether it's a husband or a live-in partner, happen to be women. And the concern that, you remember that case of the techie, Subhash from Bangalore. Vikram Singh, the fear is this, that the law, people like Deepika believe, is skewed in favor of women. It is skewed in favor of believing the women's account always. And maybe, historically there was precedent for it. That's why we've had the Dowry Act. That's why we've had, the Violence Against Women Act. But now, is there a case to relook at some of these provisions? Because men seem to be at the receiving end of this skewness of the law, if it were.
Very much, Saka. I would say there are two horrible fault lines that are visible in the last 5 years. This change and the change in the societal fabric has is more discernible in the last 5 years. One, that the husbands and the boyfriends or the male counterparts are murdered with a much bigger frequency, and this frequency seems to be going up day by day. The crime of lust happened earlier also, but it was with the men taking to the weapons and murdering their spouses or their girlfriends. Today it's different, and you are very right. The laws are very much there. The laws are gender neutral. Offenses or property offenses on the body, it does not distinguish between who the victim is. But the fact of the matter is very early mentioned, and Deepika ji also, the preconceived notion and the prejudice is always against the men, and you begin with almost a negative marking that probably somebody is lying, probably somebody is trying to frame the wives, somebody want to frame the girlfriend. Perhaps the misplaced sympathy for even in this case was, you could well realize till about 24 hours ago, everybody had the sympathy with Sonam. It's only the tables were turned when the facts came out, and all the facts came out how and what she did. But to your question, I think the society needs to relook and, of course, train the officers and the investigators to the fact that even this is possible, which was well nigh impossible even 20 years ago. Something like this happened by way of exception 10 years ago. But today, the manner in which these cases are going up and up, I believe I would not like to believe what I'm told by sociologists like Deepika ji and learned psychologists. I think we are in for very troubled times in times to come, troubled marriages, troubled relationships, troubled live-ins, and people had better watch out before they go for a plunge.
So, Deepika, like Mr. Vikram Singh said, the law is supposed to be gender neutral. You cannot have law discriminating, one gender over the other, and that's how it is conceived, and that's how it is meant to be implemented. Where then does it go wrong? What is the place where some people perceive that if a woman were to file a complaint, it is viewed differently by the investigating authorities, and dare I say, even sometimes by prosecuting authorities and even courts of law. But it's not built in the law. The law is supposed to be gender neutral. A heinous crime like murder, the victim can be anyone of any gender. Similarly, the accused or the complicit person can be of any gender. The law is supposed to be gender neutral and is gender neutral. Why then, in its implementation, do we have these biases and these cues?
I think it's a societal mindset, Zaka. Largely, we think that women are hopeless. They're they're not as criminal-minded as men. There is no doubt that there is a large number of men who actually commit crimes. And but at the same time, I would like to say, as far as data is now, societal mindset also gets shaped because of what we hear and what we see happening in the society. Now, while we have lakhs of cases where a woman says that she was subjected to cruelty by her husband and relatives, a man cannot approach the court or the police and say that he is being emotionally abused, slapped, hurt. If he goes to the police station, he cannot file an FIR under 498A. That is only for women. Domestic Violence Act also perceives only women as victims, and men really do not have. We have cases, Zaka. In fact, I was just sharing it somewhere else as well. In Mumbai, there's a guy, he approached us 2-3 days back. His wife, along with her lover, called upon about 8 to 9 goons for 3 hours. All of them beat him up black and blue. And the police has not arrested his wife at all. In fact, shockingly, his wife is sitting in his house along with her lover. So the police has a very, very biased perspective. I don't know for what reason. May I also say that there is a lot of money to be made, and it's always the man who has to pay. There are so many false rape cases that we are seeing that are happening for purpose of extortion. There are women involved in it. We do not have the numbers right now with us of where women commit crimes. That is not evidently visible to the society because, one, all the gender-based crimes are only for women, so women can't be seen as perpetrators. And two is, most of the times, apart from cases like this, crimes by women are usually, slipped aside, not really discussed. But thankfully, at least now with brutal cases like this, we are seeing whether that was the Meerut case. And, Zaka, we have seen videos that have come up after the Meerut blue drum case where the woman is openly threatening the husband कि तुझे blue drum याद है ना? and she's just come back after meeting her lover. So, there is strange kind of entitlement that women are feeling that nothing can happen to them. And this is a very, very daily experience that we go through.
All right, Deepika
Nothing
Narayan
against women.
Bharadwaj and Vikram Singh, thank you very much for joining us. We will keep an eye out on how this story of Sonam Raghuvanshi and Raja Raghuwanshi, something that has shocked the entire nation, how it progresses. I want to take a quick break here on the program, but news and updates continue right on the other side.
Lots of.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Another update that concerns a couple that had gone missing in Shillong. We're talking about the Indore couple. Now, there has been a development in this case as well. Sonam Raghuvanshi is the wife who had vanished from Shillong during her honeymoon, has now been found in Uttar Pradesh. Late last night, Sonam reportedly called her brother from a roadside eatery in Ghazipur in UP, breaking her silence and revealing her location. Raja Raghuwanshi, who is the husband, he was found dead, remember. His elder brother, Vipin, has confirmed to CNN News 18 all these developments. Reacting to the news, the Meghalaya Chief Minister has also taken to social media announcing that the three accused, all from Madhya Pradesh, have been arrested so far. He's also confirmed that the woman involved has surrendered. By the woman, does he mean Sonam, is one conjecture that is also being drawn, and the operation, he says, to nab the fourth accused is still underway. But even as the police call it a breakthrough, Sonam's father has rejected their version. He has said, and I'm quoting, what the police is saying is not true. We demand a CBI probe into the matter. Meanwhile, the man at the dhaba in Ghazipur in UP who helped Sonam recalled that she was crying and asked to make a phone call. We gave her the phone, he says, and then alerted the police.
धन्यवाद है जो मिल गई है, तो लेकिन क्या, ये तो वो भी दुख है और ये भी दुख है। अभी तो राजा के कातिल का भी पता पड़े। अब दुख तो है, मिल भी गई है, तो भी हमको तो दुख ही, छोरा चला गया।
मैं ढाबे वाले के पास पहुंची, वहाँ उससे रोई, ढाबे वाले से रोने के बाद में उसने मोबाइल दिया ढाबे वाले ने। अच्छा। हाँ, ढाबे वाले ने मोबाइल दिया तो फिर उसने गोविंद जी को फ़ोन लगाया। अच्छा। हाँ, तो गोविंद जी ने फिर रात को फ़ोन लगाया, तो वहाँ पुलिस पहुंची थाने की, वहाँ ढाबे पे, ढाबे से वहाँ की पुलिस लेके आई है। अच्छा। मेरी बिट्टी से अभी मेरी बात नहीं हुई, सोनम से। वो गलत दावा कर रहे हैं। अच्छा। वो लोग बिल्कुल 100% गलत दावा कर रहे हैं। वो लोग निराधार झूठ बोल रही है, क्योंकि वहाँ की पुलिस फंस रही है उस मामले में, इसलिए वो लोग ये दावा, उल्टा दावा कर रहे हैं। भाई, हम क्यों करवाएंगे ये चीज? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, ये बच्ची भी क्यों करवाएगी? बच्ची अगर ऐसा करवाती तो घूमने क्यों जाती? अच्छा, आपने फोन नहीं लगाया? तो इसके बाद में फिर हम लोग दिल्ली जाते हैं कि अमित शाह जी से मिलने के लिए कि भाई हमको सीबीआई की जांच दो आप।
जी, ये अभी जो पता चला है कि सोनम रघुवंशी आत्मसमर्पण किया है, तो इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा अगर जानकारी दे पाते हैं, आपके पास जो भी खबर है।
आत्मसमर्पण सोनम ने नहीं किया है। सोनम के लिए हम लोगों ने फोन लगाया यूपी पुलिस को। यूपी पुलिस वहाँ पे पहुंची, उसको वहाँ पे सेफ रखा है, उसको लेके गई है। सोनम पकड़ी नहीं गई है। सोनम को हमने फोन लगा के बोला है, तो सोनम को पुलिस लेके गई वहाँ से। कोई पुलिस ने ढूंढना नहीं है, कोई आत्मसमर्पण नहीं किया उसने है, ये चीज क्लियर है।
तो लेकिन बात है
खबरें ना चले तो अच्छी है।
जी बात है, लेकिन बात है कि सोनम मतलब चेरापूंजी से आके मध्य प्रदेश कैसे पहुंची, उसके बाद आपको क्या लगता है?
वो सोनम बता पाएगी इस बारे में। बात है, इस बारे में मुझे कुछ पता नहीं है।
राजा के मौत के पीछे सोनम का हाथ हो सकता है क्या?
अभी तो कंफर्म नहीं है इस बात में, सोनम बता पाएगी बातें।
क्योंकि आप वहाँ शिलांग में थे, आप मतलब ढूंढ रहे थे, पूरे मामले को नजदीक से देख रहे थे, बोल रहे थे कि जब तक नहीं होगा तब तक मैं यहाँ से जाऊंगा नहीं। उसके बाद राजा का सब मिला।
चीजें सुनो, ये कोई भी चीजें कंफर्म हम तक नहीं कर सकते हैं जब तक सोनम को जो है 4 आरोपी के सामने खड़ा नहीं कर जाता है। तब तक सोनम कंफर्म करेगी उनको, तो सोनम को वो कंफर्म करेंगे कौन था कौन नहीं था, सारी चीजें मैच होगी, उसके बाद में पड़ेगा आरोपी कौन है।
क्योंकि 3 सुपारी किलर भी पकड़ा गया है।
मैं वही कह रहा हूँ, में सारी चीजें कंफर्म होगी, कंफर्म हुई नहीं है। सोनम से मिलने के बाद सोनम की सारी कंफर्म करेगी चीजें, सारी चीजें। तो सोनम को जो है यहाँ पे लाया जाएगा, कंफर्म सारी चीज करी जाएगी, इसकी बात की आगे बात बढ़ेगी।
लेकिन
कौन है?
ये पूरा मामला जो है आपके लिए एकदम चौंकाने वाला है कि सोनम अब मध्य प्रदेश में पाई गई है चेरापूंजी से।
देखिए, ये चीज अचंभा थोड़ी तो है, ताकि इसमें भी हम लोग कुछ बोल नहीं सकते ज्यादा।
अब मतलब आप सोनम के मुंह से सुनना चाहते हैं जो आगे का बात है, या पुलिस के मुंह से
चाहते हैं आगे की बात क्या थी, क्या बात थी, सच्चाई क्या नहीं है। ये मीडिया के माध्यम से तो बहुत सी चीजें ऐसी लिखी जाती है जो नहीं होना चाहिए।
नहीं जी, इसीलिए आपको फोन किया है कि जो होना चाहिए वो ही हो और आप ही बता पाओ कि आप प्रत्यक्ष रूप से पूरे मामले से जुड़े हुए हैं या पहले दिन से आप लगे हुए हैं, इसीलिए मतलब क्योंकि आपके घर की बहू है।
तो वही कह रहा हूँ, हमारे घर की बहू है, तो हम लोग इसी के लिए कह रहे हैं, जब तक हमको कंफर्म नहीं होगा तब तक हम लोग किसी भी बात में भरोसा नहीं कर पाएंगे।
लेकिन कभी भी शक हुआ था कि ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है?
ऐसा कुछ शक नहीं हुआ, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ ऐसा है।
क्योंकि आप लोग ये मान के चल रहे थे कि बांग्लादेश तक उसको अपहरण करके लेके गया होगा, अब बांग्लादेश के जगह मध्य प्रदेश में निकली वो 3 और भी लोग पकड़े गए हैं, जो कहा जा रहा है कि इस पूरे मामले के
पकड़े गए जो है वो MP में पकड़ा गया, दोनों पकड़ा गए है। और सोनम जो है सोनम यूपी मिली है, दोनों में बहुत अंतर है, 1200 किलोमीटर अंतर, 11-1200 किलोमीटर अंतर दोनों में है। वो दोनों अलग अलग जगह पकड़े गए हैं, सोनम पकड़ी नहीं गई है, 3 बंदे पकड़े गए हैं।
सोनम किन के साथ सोनम का बात किन के साथ हुआ था?
गोभी के साथ हुआ था।
अच्छा, ओके। और उसके बाद आप ही लोगों ने कहा है कि मतलब आप लोग पुलिस को बताया या आप लोगों ने सोनम को बताया?
हम लोगों ने पुलिस को बताया है, सोनम रघुवंशी वहाँ पे है, आप वहाँ पे जाइए, उसको वहाँ पे उठाइए, उसकी सेफ तरीके से थाने पे ले जाइए, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जंगल में कुछ और मिलेगा नहीं वहाँ पे, इसलिए हमने पुलिस को फोन लगा बताया।
मतलब एक तरीके से आपने पकड़वाया है?
पकड़ाया नहीं, हमने उसको सेफ रखने के लिए भेजा, वहाँ पे वहाँ सेफ रहेगी, कोई पुलिस पकड़ के नहीं ले गई उसको।
तो आपको लगता है मतलब सोनम भी खतरे में है?
सोनम डरी हुई थी तो हम लोगों को पता है, डरी हुई वहाँ पे, तो सोनम को जंगल में कौन देखेगा, तो हमारा पास ऑप्शन एक ही था, पुलिस के थ्रू वहाँ पे हमने सोनम को सेफ जगह पर रखा गया है, थाने पे। गोविंद रघुवंशी उसको लेने के लिए निकल गया है।
My colleague Niloy Bhattacharya is now with us on the broadcast. Niloy was just speaking to one of the family members of the husband, Raja Raghuvanshi. Now, Niloy, from this conversation that you've had with Raja's brother, things are still unclear. They are not really casting aspersions exactly against Sonam, and yet they are saying that let's talk about the people who have been nabbed from MP. The fact that there is...
Welcome back. India is all set to make its mark into the space, this time with Shubhanshu Shukla. Let's tell you about this gentleman in detail. Indian Air Force Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is set to make history on Tuesday, close to 5:52 p.m. as he pilots the Axiom 4 mission to head to the International Space Station, making an Indian astronaut's return to space after 41 long years. He will also be the first ever Indian to visit and conduct research on the International Space Station in its 25 years of existence. The International Human Spaceflight mission by US-based space tech company Axiom Space is helmed by veteran NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson and will launch from Florida's Kennedy Space Center. More details in this report. Take a look.
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX-4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla.
A fighter pilot for 15 years, he was selected as one of 4 Indian astronauts in 2020.
Captain Shukla, are you ready for the ride? Will you do some yoga in space like your idol Rakesh Sharma did in 1984?
The first Indian astronaut, Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, traveled to space in 1984. I grew up reading about him in textbooks and listening to his stories from space. I was deeply, deeply impressed by him. This journey that I'm on, it has been a long one for me. And it started out somewhere. I didn't know that this is the path it is going to finally take. I would say that I have been extremely fortunate and extremely lucky to have gotten the opportunities to first fly all my life, which was a dream job for me, and then have the opportunity to apply to astronauts corps, and now consequently be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom was the time I came to know that I will be going. I was extremely excited to be here. I was very, very happy because this was a possibility for me to actually fly to space. You don't know how to respond to such things.
Shooks his wisdom. The knowledge that he possesses, he could be 130 years old.
For me, having him as my pilot in the Dragon capsule is great. He already has that operational savvy. He's just wicked smart when it comes to spacecraft technologies.
He is very focused and he will basically go 1, 2, 3, 4 in a record time. I don't even know how he gets there so fast.
The team that I'm flying with on this mission, it is fantastic. I do feel that, I have exceptional crewmates. I will have these crew members for this one flight, but post this mission, these are going to be my friends for life.
It has been an amazing journey. These are moments that really tell you that you are getting to be a part of something that is much larger than yourself. I can only say how extremely fortunate I am to be a part of this.
It is my sincere endeavor through my mission to inspire an entire generation back home in the country. I want to use this opportunity to ignite curiosity among kids. Even if this story, my story, is able to change one life, it would be a huge success for me. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and I am the mission pilot for Axiom 4 mission.
Hello and good evening. Thanks for staying tuned to CNN News 18. I'm Prithsween Wale and you're watching Plain Speak. Viewers, a romantic getaway turned into a haunting tale of betrayal, deception and murder. This pretty much sums up the story of Indore couple Raja and Sonam Raghuvanshi. When the couple on a honeymoon in the picturesque hills of Meghalaya first vanished,